Everybody, and welcome to This Week in the Tech Boy Podcast. We have tons of news to get to today. So much information that I have to get out there about you. I have an entire list going on about here. So it's speed run. This might be 1-2 hours long. So let's get into today's first topic. Google is with the United States is being sued by the Department of Justice again. And they put in an update on their case, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Not from Google. Google is good. Google is great. But from the United States Department of Justice. And here is the latest thing from Google. Quote. Bing is so bad. This is my instant reaction to it. Bing is so bad that they need Google to run ads for them. Yes, according to what the official news from Google account says, you can see this, right? Yes. Okay. According to this news story, we heard from a witness in the government whose big idea it is to make Google run a national ad campaign encouraging people to use Bing and other search engines. Yeah, Bing is so pathetic. Bing is so bad that they need to have Google run ads for them so that they don't so that it doesn't work out for them. How does it even remotely make sense? Why should Google have to pay money to run ads to encourage people to use someone else's search engine? Could you imagine if Ford was forced to run ads for Chevy? Like, if Bing is good, people will use it. In fact, switching your browser is so easy on Windows. Think about it. Chrome OS is the 2 or 3 desktop operating system in the world, and that may sound great, except you realize it has about 12% of the desktop market. The number one desktop operating system is Microsoft Windows. Microsoft Windows has been around years and years longer than Google even was invented. They had all this time to create a good search engine. They had all this time to integrate it with their own product. Heck, all Windows computers come pre-built in with Edge, with Bing built in. And yet, the number one search on Bing of all time is going to be how to download Chrome. And yet again, I'm going to open up Edge right here, and I'm going to show you the difference between Edge and Chrome. This is the default browser here. And I'm not saying or calling for any Department of Justice action against Microsoft. I'm just saying, let's be fair here. Okay, I'm not really a fan of Department of Justice actions towards many companies or antitrust lawsuits. I think they're ridiculous and stupid. But hopefully you guys can see this on the screen. I'm going to have to switch. All right, yeah. So this is Microsoft Edge, okay? And I'm going to type in Google into here. So let me just open it up. All right, so I've typed in Google, and as you can see on the screen, this is what Microsoft Edge shows you when you type in Google just into the Bing search bar. No settings have been changed or anything. It's telling you, begging you to use Microsoft Bing right here. Every search brings you closer to a free donation for over 2 million nonprofits. Choose Microsoft Bing. Yes, Microsoft literally has to beg you. They have to use the plight of dead children. They have to use the plight of these poor people here. This poor disabled man, this poor dog here, this poor man holding up his phone here. They have to use the plight of these poor people to force you to try to use Bing. Just like Ecosia. Ecosia has to use a whole bunch of we put in a tweet for every web search that you do. Yeah, the only reason you can do that is because 3 people and the CEO uses Ecosia, which is still based off of Microsoft's Bing. Okay, do you know why that no one wants to use Bing? Do you know why no one wants to use Edge? It's not because this is not being forced on them. It's not because they don't have the option. It's not because they have no choice. It's because it's trash. It's trash. Here it is. I typed in Chrome. This is the Microsoft Edge experience. Is it going to come up? See, Microsoft Edge. Once again. What's wrong with you? Well, for some reason, Microsoft Edge does not want to come up and show its face on this live stream. But let me see if I can try to get it to reshare. But when you type in Chrome into Microsoft Edge literally begs you to, here it is on the screen. It literally begs you to use Microsoft Edge. Quote, there's no need to download a new web browser. Microsoft recommends using Microsoft Edge for a fast, secure, and modern web experience to help you save time and money. Right there. Microsoft is quite literally injecting ads for its own browser that you don't want to use when you search for other people's browsers and other people's search engines. Now, I'm not an antitrust expert here, but I would say that is a lot more prevalent than Google suggesting that you use Google by having it built into the Chrome search bar. The Chrome search bar, which by default is not on any Windows computers at all. But so what? Is Google going to have to start paying Microsoft for the privilege of allowing it to install Chrome? Is that going to make the Department of Justice happy? No, this is absolutely ridiculous court case here. Even Perplexity kind of sees it here. And in my opinion, it is so much easier to change your default browser in Chrome than it is to your default search engine. Sorry, the default search engine in Chrome than it is to change your default search engine in Edge. To switch away from Bing, if you want to use change your search engine from Google to Yahoo, from Google to Bing, then it's fine. Why should Google have to take out ads to have people use Bing? I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, could you imagine if the Department of Justice forced Apple to say, hey guys, look, Android is over here. It has all these features, has USB-C. It allows you to have users sideload on here. It has better cameras. I mean, it's so much better. I don't know why people buy us, but it's no. Okay, quite frankly, it probably goes against Google's First Amendment rights. I mean, why are you compelling them to run an ad campaign funded by Google to punish themselves for being good? I mean, what we're doing here is we're punishing capitalism. We're punishing, goodness. The free market, and I hate that term, but I hate that term. Like, no, the free market will decide. The free market's not a person, but whatever. The free market has decided that Google is the best. Right? Microsoft had years-long head start. They had the first desktop operating system years longer before Chrome OS. They had a chance to get into smartphones before Android. They potentially could have even bought Android back in 2005. Samsung turned them down for $50 million. But they didn't take any of these changes. They went with Windows Mobile. They partnered with Nokia. They had MSN Search, and then they had Bing, and it wasn't any good. They had Internet Explorer. They have all these advantages, all these tools, and yet they still failed. Because Google was just better. Google was more innovative. And look, if you feel like Google isn't as innovative as it is now, you can switch. In fact, I have switched away from using Google's Gemini to using to access Grok for most searches and most AI tasks for editing my images. I've switched away from ChatGPT to that for editing my articles, helping me find information, right? And guess what? X didn't have to run an ad campaign to force me to use it. Google didn't have to tell me, hey guys, look, Grok is over there. No, I just used it myself, and I found out it was better, right? ChatGPT was first, but Grok was better. That's how it works. I put Perplexity on my phone instead of Gemini, but I still like to use Google on here. I have Microsoft Edge as my phone browser, and I also have Chrome on as my phone browser. They both are great. The free market, competition, and I was easily able to switch. So if someone is able to easily switch like this and able to switch and use all these services, Google search engine, Google Chrome on desktop, Microsoft Edge on mobile, Perplexity as your default phone assistant, Bixby as the backup one, Microsoft's Word on here. Okay, I'm not against Microsoft. I mean, in fact, I'm more integrated than any other service I've seen before. I got my Microsoft apps and services on here running a Microsoft operating system. We got Excel, Word, PowerPoint, but I also got an Android phone. I also have Samsung Notes. I also use Google Search. And that wasn't because of any ad campaign. That wasn't because of anything like that. It's because of the feature set, which was inside of the devices. Because the free market won out without any forcing from the Department of Justice. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, these people. All right, so that's why I just want to talk about Google and Chrome right there. Now, our next topic for today is there was this Reddit experiment. Let me see if I can type here. There we go. There was this Reddit experiment where these people were being influenced to be using Reddit, to use Reddit. Let me see if I can pull up the report from Reddit Lies. So, for those of you who don't know, Reddit is a social forum site with over 97 million users. Sometimes 97 million stupid users. And there were these question and answer forums, etc., where, let me see if I can pull up the report, where you can try to have people change your minds, change your opinions. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Quote, here's the report from Reddit Lies Online. Let me see if I got to get back to my recording software. Sorry, guys. Quote, the University of Zul... Come on, load. There we go. Breaking. The University of Zurich has been using artificial intelligence bots to secretly manipulate Redditors since November 2024. The bot was 6 times more likely to change the minds of Redditors than the baseline, often by leveraging misinformation. And this is an experiment done by the University of Zurich, which was written up in a paper called Can AI Change Your View? And these people revealed and released a study that the usernames of 13 bots that have been created by the story and 100 Redditors' minds were potentially changed by this. Now, of course, there are people out there who are saying, no, this is terrible. This is terrible. Reddit should ban these accounts. The AI thing is bad. It's promoting misinformation. But look, if your opinions were so stupid that they were changed by some AI bot on Reddit, if your opinions are so fickle that they're changed by some random person yapping on Reddit or something, about something, your opinions are going to change anyway. Okay? For those of you who don't know, Reddit is just a hive of just like left-wing LGBTQ insanity. Okay? That is what Reddit is. I'm sorry. If your opinion is going to be changed by these people, by some AI bot, I mean, it was going to get changed either way. That's my stance on this. AI is cool. Great. Good job to the report, too. The opinions are going to get changed anyway. Better do it now, sooner, later than ever. And, I think it's really nice that, AI is now at a spot that it is now human readable, right? It doesn't sound like early 2022 ChatGPT, where it's like, obviously, you can tell that it's written by AI. Obviously, you can tell it's generated by AI. And it's just like, Mark Zuckerberg, I heard that he said that the average, or at least in the United States, has 3 friends, that you need 15. He wants to supplement that, where if you own artificial intelligence friends, right? And of course, people are freaking out, oh my goodness, this is dystopian. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Oh my goodness, this is horrible. Of course, Hollywood has programmed each and every one of you. I haven't seen any of these movies, so it hasn't programmed me. But Hollywood has programmed each and every one of you to hate AI, to hate computers, to hate all of these things, right? There's no reason you hate it. The only reason you hate it is because you say it's slop, because you say it's soulless, because you think it's going to take over the world. But in reality, these chatbot programs and these chatbot friend programs are just going to be essentially, you have the internet or a scanned book or something like that, and it's basically summarizing it and explaining it better to you. Okay, have you seen how some people text? Right, I mean, it's not like it's going to replace your friendships. Okay, it's not going to replace your friendships. Have you seen how some people text? It's so boring, so mid. I mean, heck, have an AI chatbot do it for you. What do I care? Now, if people like it, they use it. If people don't want it, then it's a waste of money for them. But we shouldn't be criticizing him for being anti-human or, quote, dystopian. And that's the whole broader criticisms of AI as a whole. It's always these people. It's always these people who are going around and they're like, oh, well, AI is soulless, slop. You just say that because you don't have any actual defense. Oh, the people who hate AI are just annoying. Okay, they feel like that they are higher, mightier than thou, holier than thou. Yeah, that is what they are doing. These people are just like, yeah, I didn't use AI. No, I'm not saying use AI to cheat or something like that, but just like turning your nose up at AI because you want to, because you can, because you feel like it, because you're better than the rest. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it kind of gives the vibe of Linux users, which is just. Here we have another thing from Reddit Lies here again. And you might be wondering why like these Reddit, accounts where they aggregate them, like Reddit Lies, Reddit Echo Chamber, or now Reddit R8 Torch. Like these accounts and how I always criticize R-Word Finder. Well, it's because these accounts, Reddit, 97 million people on it, is larger than the entire country of Germany, which is kind of bad considering the history of Germany and considering the history of what's on Reddit. Is that he actually goes in, he does investigations, he does investigations, he writes articles, he actually provides benefit Okay, he's actually useful. This actually brings me joy. Like his account and Reddit echo chamber or edit Reddit R-Woods brings me joy. They're actually funny. Okay, the R-Wood finder has just essentially gone around and found pictures of people that obviously most people don't like, called them mean names, and then he has within the span of like a few weeks then started criticizing Israel or whatever, or Ben Shapiro, and then launched the meme coin. Like he did the entire grifting thing in like two months. Okay, most people like Candace Owens or whatever. She did that in like 5 years. Sorry. All right, so she was in the game for a long time before she started being grifty and whiny and annoying and pinchling. Now, Arwood Finder apparently got 500,000 people to follow him for some reason because he called most people don't like mean. There's a video about this. I'll probably link it below. A mean name, and now like monetize it. So he creates some cryptocurrency coin, which is now at, I think its high was around like 13 cents per token or whatever. I think it is now at 0.06 cents, so about half a cent per token. So yeah, pretty going well for him over there. But at least RL and Reddit echo chamber, these people, they actually provide value. They actually provide joy. Okay, they actually provide value. They actually provide joy. But this ties back into the broader Linux conversation. I was watching them videos of Linus Tech Tips trying to switch over to Linux. And the thing is, the people who use Linux is just this. The most annoying people of all time. Let's look at the sticker suit. You got, oh, guys, I got Linux. I got Linux here. Have you ever seen anyone with the Windows computer, like sticker on it? Wow, got Windows on here. Yeah, that's right. That's Windows 11. 2H222 with the newest security feature update. Yeah, gotta have that sticker on here. Yeah. But you're just virtue signaling because you like to type in your little command prompt. Yeah, type in my little command prompt. Yeah, I'm a commie. I use Linux. It's free. Yeah, socialism is great. That's what Linux boils down to, essentially. But monogamy in this economy, what is wrong with you? Jesus was a socialist, which is no, and also Jesus is. So take that sticker off. Trans rights and human rights, sometimes antisocial and always anti-fascist. I don't know what these are. This and this and this. Trans rights, protect trans kids. Y'all means all trans rights. What is that? The SDF, or I think some like those organizations too. Those organizations free the Linux thing. Yes, guys, Linux is amazing. The Free Software Foundation. I was watching this video of some Linus Tech Tips was looking at this Linux computer that was meant for the education market because they believe they want to get a laptop to every kid in the world for education or whatever, which is admirable. That's great. But why must you torture children to force them to use Linux? Okay, Linux, if it's not for these annoying little sticker people that we just showed here, is a trash operating system. I'm sorry, but Linux is garbage. It is a absolutely horrible operating system, and because it's absolutely horrible, you have to sit around on those forums and use it and interact with these little scum of the earth people. I'm sorry, that Linux is garbage. Okay, think about it. So first of all, the whole Linux ethos thing is like, hey guys, we're freedom, we're open source, we're amazing, we're terrible, we're taking away from the shackles of corporatism. Okay, first of all, Windows is good because you have a GUI. It doesn't crash all the time. You can get a lot more support. You get a lot more supported software. Mac OS is trash, but I mean, at least you have that option. Linux has like a skin, but you have to go into the terminal all the time. You want to download an app or something? Well, maybe you can download the package, and maybe it might work sometimes. Maybe not. Maybe. But then, if it doesn't work, then you have to go into these people, and these people apparently have no life. They have no family. They have no friends. They have no food. They have no deodorant. And you have to go into this forum and be like, I can't install Firefox. What happened to you? And they'll go check through your Reddit history and be like, fascist, I'm not going to tell you. Or they'll go through your forum history and be like, why didn't you try wget sudo apt update noob? And then they'll block you or something and be like, take the moral high ground. But you were running a laptop that was around when Clinton was president. Shut up. Okay. We here in the modern world actually like to use modern operating systems that actually work. Linux is more secure. Yeah. Why do you care about that? Anyway, Linux is a trash operating system, and like the only good distro of it is Android, which is no. Okay. So Linux is garbage. You have to interact with these people. This is why I hate the open source movement in Linux. It sucks. You have to read your forums. You get the open source community is trash. They're all about freedom. What? Who do you think you are? You are not the United States of America. You're not a country. Okay? You aren't a country, Linux people. Okay? You're the freedom, democracy. You and your friends are somehow on websites that are worse than government websites. I'm sorry. How is that possible? Like government websites look like you took a book from 2008. It was like, yep, this is what we're going to be doing in 2050. But, Linux websites are like, why are you even using a web browser to access this, bro? Like, you should have been using an FTP server. Heaven forbid you like to have a nice little GUI. Oh, no, that's horrible. I like the terminal. It's so much faster and more efficient. And we have GUIs for a reason, people, because they're easier and better to use. That's why. And also, you're not associated, mostly if you use Windows, and you might be associated kind of with them if you use Mac OS, with the freedom movement sticker people like this. So, yeah, that this perfectly alone is a good reason why not to use Linux. Linux is trash and Linux is garbage. Okay, like the Linux defenders are just so. It's not a good OS, and I mean all of them, from Ubuntu to Puppy Linux to all these other random distros. I wish it was so much easier. If we just had a nice little hacking distro for Windows. I know there's like a Red Hat something. Last update was like 2019. I'm trying to install that on here. But like, whoa, come on. Linux is trash. We all know that. And the most annoying people are going to be Linux users. Let's be for real here. Stickers, notwithstanding. All right. Now, on to another trend here that's also annoying here. So, I'm going to, this is muted. All right. There's this woman here who, shut up. There's this woman here who was cooking a pizza. And I'm going to display the video in its entirety so that we can get your honest reactions. Come on, chat. There's like 7 people watching here. Again, I just did a whole rant on Linux. So, I mean, I know one of you is probably annoyed. All right, here we go. Here's this woman. Watch. I thought I muted this. All right, so she's cooking a pizza here. Why you'd wear that to cook a pizza? But whatevs. All right, we're not going to stay here for 33 seconds and watch a woman cut a pizza. Okay, like you want to watch cooking videos, go watch Isabella Maria de Luca. Anyway, that's the video. Now you may be wondering, well, okay, that's interesting. Woman cut a pizza. How nice. Yeah. Apparently people thought that she's 13, which she's not. I looked it up. She's 20. Did anyone in this video in the chat here think that the woman looked 13? This is the whole trend that's actually online for some reason. Like, obvious woman apparently being compared to 13-year-olds, which is like, maybe it's just because you haven't been around in a school or like around teenagers. Maybe you don't have kids as much, but that she's not looked 13. Unless 13-year-olds have just aged dramatically since the last time I was 13. Like, what? No. And the comments are like, wow, she looks like an actual child. No, she does not. What's wrong with you people? It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, for the trends that we've gone over today, the anti-AI trend, the pro Linux trend, and the random women look like 10-year-olds trend, I guess. I'm probably going to say that the Linux people are the most annoying, but I really don't engage with them as much because, I mean, the only Linux distro that I usually use is for like cyber security. And then the anti-AI trend, it's just annoying. And like, they're like, man, I'm better. Slop. I can't believe you use AI slop. Like, the word slop is just annoying. Okay, we should just ban it from the dictionary. Okay. Like we just should. Okay. These people are trying to sell freedom, democracy. You are not the United States of America. You are not a country. Okay? You're a stupid Linux distro. Website that looks like it was made when the World Wide Web was invented. Like it was the first website on the internet. But now let's get to the real topic of today's discourse, which is, has the internet met landlines in communication worse. For example, analog phone lines. When you have analog phone lines, most phones today are now voice over internet protocol, which is VoIP. That's what is posted in the VoIP Reddit forum here. And I believe that the internet has potentially made communication worse. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like, internet bad. See, now with all these chat apps and yada, yada, yada. You can leave that for some ministry or whatever. Okay? You can use internet badism for them. It's just ridiculous. Right? Anyway. Yeah, I'm not going to sit around and condemn the internet as a whole. What I'm going to say is that in pursuit of this technology, that we have lost so much good technology over the course of years. So let's talk about dial-up internet. Not dial-up internet. Dial-up internet was not a good technology. I'm talking about dialing in to a computer, to remote access with it, or to send files to it. Anyway, if the internet were to go out. Right. Remember, phone lines, like them, the analog phone lines, really did not go out. Now, you may be wondering, okay, what's wrong with the phone lines that we have now? Well, voice over internet protocol, as you may hear in the name, means that you need internet to have a phone, which is just, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Why should you need an internet connection to have a phone? Like, I mean, Alexander Graham Bell invented the phone 100 years before the internet was invented. So, like, when phones in 1967, they worked fine and well. I'm not saying VoIP shouldn't exist. No, I'm all for this, right? I also heard that VoIP, the reason it can't, access some of those legacy systems, want to do some war dialing or anything like that, if I had a VoIP line or whatever, is the problem is, first of all, the software for war dialing isn't even made anymore. Like, we had that entire episode about that. It's absolutely ridiculous. But the software for stuff like that, it's just like the lines itself can't carry as much bandwidth as they did in analog phone days. So they don't carry much phone noise or anything. Which is, again, ridiculous. Think about it. In the 1990s, you would have been able to link a computer to another computer to, I guess, chat back with each other. You could access files. You could do all of that. But now you can't. Why? Why? How is this even remotely better? And I think it's also come down into radio technology as well. Let me see if I can pull up the image. I feel like that we have lost some of this radio technology. Chatting over radio waves, for example. Right, if I want to chat over radio waves, apparently there is this tool that they had back in the old days. Let me see if I can pull it up. Well, anyway, there was this thing that they had back in the old days, before they had computers, before the internet was a thing, where you could chat over radio waves and it was essentially like texting each other. Let me see. I forgot what it was called. RTTY. So I'm going to pull up an image of the machine and then pull up the Reddit forum thread that we have. Oh, yeah. Radio teletype. This is an image of a radio teletype. Hopefully you can see this on the screen. Yeah, so this is a radio teletype machine here. And you are able to send chats. Well, that's not the teletype machine. RTTY. Here we go. This is the radio teletype machine. You're able to send chats over radio broadcast. They print out right here. You have your keyboard. You have your, I guess, paper monitor or whatever here. I think they even had some digital versions of these as soon as they got more advanced. But, I mean, if I want to make one of these on a computer, if I want to ask people how I can chat over radio waves on a computer, We got 49 comments here, 5,400 views, no upvotes for some reason. And you go do 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 do, and let's go through all the things they have here and see when they're invented. Because I mean, think about it. If we have technology like this back in the 1930s, being used by like AP News to transmit news wires all over the United States of America, during World War I, World War II, to and from Germany and England and Europe. Back to the United States to be able to chat over radio waves, no computers, no internet, no phone. You would think that this might be potentially possible, maybe with I don't know, a radio dongle and some type of software. You plug it in, boop, you got it here already. I mean, even Motorola, for crying out loud, has example like this. Motorola Solutions portable FRS T802 talk about two-way radios, walkie-talkie, emergency preparedness, rechargeable 22-channel, 35 miles, black with Bluetooth back. All right, so that is the that is the Motorola radio here. You might be thinking, okay, how is this interesting here? But you might notice this one thing here, Bluetooth, which was actually invented by a woman. Fun fact. Why does that Bluetooth? You may be wondering. It's because it interfaces with an application. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it interfaces with an application where you can share your location and send text messages off the grid using, and Motorola's own manual uses this word, using this as a modem for communication with no PC software. Why? Why would you make this and not even add computer software in it? And this proves that you can transmit text and location data. The location data comes from the GPS on the phone, so I understand why it has a phone app. Text and location data without needing without needing internet. But apparently, we have moved away from this. We have moved away from this. This study of radio communication. Like radio communication seems to be a lost art or something. Like apparently everything just wants to access it, put it on the internet. In the 1930s, we have radio teletype machines. In the 2020s, we have these walkie-talkie radios that can transmit text and text data, but only if you have an app on your phone. I mean, isn't that ridiculous? Now let's go back to the chat over radio waves here. They talked about Mestastic. I think that was invented like in 2014, something like that. There's some other people talking about in LoRa, which was invented by France in 2014, which is a different type of radio frequency. Here, cell phone messaging, but that's using the tower, so it doesn't really count. The Motorola T800, which I was talking about. These tools here, but they didn't really talk about it. More Mestastic thing here. Rattlegram, which we've talked about that before. It's another phone app that transmits that eek kind of like squeaky sound over the walkie-talkie microphone. It's not useful there because I might as well just text someone. And then there's some people talking about ham radio licenses here. You would think that with technology like this in the 1930s, it might be possible to send text messages. You might think that in the 1990s, when you're able to remotely access a computer over a phone line, that you'd be able to do that now, but no, that's impossible. You might think that it's possible to do some of these things, but look, I tried to build an offline spy base for you guys here. I built my own mostly offline spy base here. This is an article from TheTechBoy.org, which essentially has shown how hard it is to get into radio technology these days. I remember in one of the first podcast episodes of this year, we were talking about how these like toy phones that had their own numbers to actually like walkie-talkies, they advertised over 3 miles of range, and they used RF or whatever radio frequencies to communicate with each other. You would think that a phone like that coming out in 2002 would actually be, more advanced now or today. Heck, maybe they could integrate that into our phones today. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could put like a little transmitter in here where you can communicate with your friends over a 3-mile radius. Because that'd be great. Think about it. You're at a concert, you're in a place where there's no internet, you kind of like directly transmitting audio and pictures to each other. I mean, it's possible. But apparently people just, if the internet exists, we're just going to put everything on it. And I'm a big fan of the internet, but like we just have more redundancy in this as well. So here is how to build an offline spy base as well. We're going to break down this article. We're going to get into some of the things here, but we're also going to know the insane amount of workarounds I have to do just to get like remote access stuff and software like this. So for your security setup, here we have your Defender cameras here, not sponsored. I am contacting them, see if I can get a setup for cameras here. And notice what you see here. This is essentially one of the only two that I was able to find. The Phoenix HD security camera and the CMORC CCTV system. So this is the Phoenix system. They have advertised at 1,000 foot range. They're wired into the electricity, but they transmit wirelessly over into this tablet-like screen with 64 gigabytes of storage here. So it's like a baby monitor, but for security cameras. Why don't we see more of this? I only saw literally 2 options for RF-based cameras on Google or Amazon. We know it's possible. We see the technology right there. I could buy it off Amazon for $200 right now if I wanted to. I mean, and the system has so many features that could be added to it. First of all, you could have system where it records off to an SSD. You can have a system where it records off to a hard drive where it connect to a monitor. You could have, PC software, because apparently there's some type of weird technology that no one knows about in this little tablet thing here, where it alone can decode the frequencies of the Defender cameras here. You mean to tell me that in the year 2025, there's no way that there's some type of adapter that we can plug into a computer and have like a tiny little camera that transmits over radio frequencies? You know, if you look up spy camera on Amazon right now, you're going to see a whole list of these little dinky cameras that either transmit terrible image quality, terrible privacy policies, and you need some random Chinese app and you need to connect it to Wi-Fi, etc. Like, well, how did the CIA spy on people before the 1990s? Like, Wi-Fi wasn't a thing. How did they transmit video? In 1954, a group of Russian children gave President Eisenhower this thing called the Think, which was a radio bug that was sitting in the Oval Office for many years, and Russian agents could pick it up on their transmitters here. Now, that may sound interesting. That's great. Except, do you know how hard it is to find some type of RF bug? I didn't put one in here because it was like insanely expensive. Why is that hard? Why is that hard? When essentially, same technology, and this is the workaround that I had for it, where you have this little dongle here, you plug it into your computer, and then you set it as a mic in Audacity. I go into the details in that article. You take off the fuzz part of this, and this is essentially a lapel mic I got off of that website I did some work for again. So they had me buy some stuff off the website, and then I reviewed stuff. Flip, yeah, that's what it's called. So it's essentially like TikTok, but for shopping. Anyway, a 3-in-1 dual mic costs like $17 off of Flip. I got them for free. Not sponsored. This is the same technology. This transmits to this base where you can see here. You plug it in. I don't know how long of a range it has, but I'm pretty sure it's a pretty good range. Or at least enough to like bug something. And then you tune it on Audacity, and now you can live listen. But I mean, we want that in like spy bugs. Well, I don't know how that technology is gonna work. You know, I mean, it's only existed for over 100 years. I mean, it's yeah. Like, there's no camera version of this except for like baby monitors, which are huge and conspicuous. But the point is, if you can do it with the baby monitor, why can't we intercept that with the SDR? Why has no one invented like a little RF switch you can plug into USB and you can now see RF camera feed streams here? What is that technology like proprietary licensed? Has the NSA have it and you can't make it anymore? Like, how is this hard? It is not that hard. They're not just baby monitors, for crying out loud. Baby monitors. You mean you couldn't miniaturize it? You mean there's no decoder for it? You know, it's so hard to find under the actual slop of junky Chinese app-controlled miniature spy cameras that you get off of Amazon for $9 that are the size of a dime, but like barely work. Or maybe you can make your own with like a Raspberry Pi, but once again, it's the same thing that's wrong with Linux. Like, it barely works. You try to code something, it barely works. How is this hard? Here we have the Spy Gear Secret Motion Radar. You know what that is. I did a video about it. It's a small little radar that transmits signals out, and it can detect people and objects moving through walls. Great. Is there a bigger version of this? You know, Spy Gear might go out of business. You probably don't want to be relying on a toy company for your security reasons and needs. Nah. Only motion detectors that we get are, little security motion detectors. Portable motion detectors? Who needs that? Like, what? The Spygate phone case here transmits over Wi-Fi. That's right. Now for mapping. Here we have a 3D map in this software called Real Home 3D. Except Real Home 3D made it so exceptionally hard to put a ceiling on the wall. What? Why can you not just put a ceiling in your 3D mapping software? Why? And then you have GPS receiver gathered by GPS receiver phone. This is a screenshot of ArcGIS. And they have a button here that allows you to transmit. Here it is, the button here. Things from a GNSS device about over here. But the one time that you want internet, the one time that, hey, maybe it might be useful to, I don't know, have an app on your phone where you can track your phone in ArcGIS. That might be helpful. That might be useful, especially for an article like this. You can talk to your little agents or whatever. Oh, well, those apps don't exist. Or have a little earpiece that's not like Bluetooth, that's not connected to a phone or something. Because, like, if you want that, just use AirPods. Like a little radio transmitter earpiece. Well, can't find that. No, sir. Like, I mean, come on. You know that. I know that the technology exists. It's just, not commercially viable? Is there a link? Is there a hold on this kind of technology? And then Microsoft Encarta, which even to this day has some of the best graphics, some of the best charts, some of the best Atlas features on here, right? It combined all these features into just a 2 GB program. But somehow, no, we can't have Encarta today. Do you know why I linked Encarta 2009 and not Encarta 2021 or something? Because it's the last version of Encarta. Because, Wikipedia took over or whatever. Which is just ridiculous. Fine, Wikipedia took over. Or I don't know, maybe we could put out Encarta every 5 years or something. Like, everything does not need to be web-based. Especially for, like, spy toys, encyclopedias, or I don't know. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And I think that's the problem. That everything is moving so far and fast to the web that now we're just going to be left with Instagram, TikTok, X, whatever. Look, social media applications when computers, even from the 90s, could do so much more. Like we talked about, dialing in to a network, satellite communication. I was reading a report saying that the Windows 95 event, this was like pre-internet. Even Microsoft wasn't really on the internet thing. They were transmitting the video live via satellite in 1995. But you want to find out how that works without just saying, the satellite demodulates this and it sends to a truck and it's like a 3rd grade graphic. Well, I mean, that's not happening now. You're going to get more articles about satellite internet or Starlink or whatever, which is great. But, maybe it might be great if you could remotely access a computer over a satellite network without needing to access the internet. Like we said, other networks in place. And I think RF, radio frequency, and satellite might be the best options. I don't know. And the one thing that was so annoying here is that there's one GPS tracker thing here. So it's essentially the same problem about the GPS trackers that they put on those stupid phones like the Gap phone and the Bark phone and all those phones that like want to track kids or whatever, but they're super highly overpriced. They put GPS on them, but they advertise it as no internet when obviously it has internet because they need the SIM card to send it back. That's how almost all GPS trackers work today. I had to go dig and find some 16-year-old invention of the radio-based GPS tracker meant for model rockets so that you don't lose them when you launch them up in the air. And it has some like homing software on it. You mean to tell me that there's no possible way that you can home something without the access to the internet? You mean to tell me that, radio tracking, which has been around for years and years and years, GPS, which has been around about 10 years before the World Wide Web was invented, couldn't work without the internet? Couldn't work without the World Wide Web? No. It's just these people got lazy and said, let's put SIM cards in it. And now here's this one thing that I actually found interesting. A LoRa tracker that offers about 9 miles of range. But I thought, wow, this is great. It's a little tracker. You have your thing here. You have a receiver. But you need an app to access it because, heaven forbid, you want to track something on a PC. Who wants to do that? Which is kind of sad because it shows the desktop computer market is dying and is getting replaced by the app market, which is great in concepts like this, with the logo tracking here, it's also terrible and sad because now all you have is TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, etc. And it kind of stifles innovation. If we didn't put everything on the web, maybe 33% on satellite, 33% on the web, 33% on RF. I'm not saying like websites or anything like that. I'm saying like put technologies that, try to push forth all this technology. Then we'd be in a much better place, much more advanced place than we were in the 90s. Instead of regressing back, like in this graphic here has internet with landlines and communications. Worse. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, here's our next topic here. Teen sitcoms died. What happened to the good teen sitcoms? Okay, look, we don't have Disney Plus. It's like super expensive. But I've been watching YouTube reviews of Disney Plus. I've been watching YouTube of teen sitcoms here. And some of the best were Drake and Josh, iCarly, Zoe 101, Sweet Life on Deck, and the show that came before it. The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. But now, you look at a list of the teen sitcoms, and it is rough. Rough. I mean, it's garbage. Absolutely garbage. We didn't some of these sitcoms are promoting, like, terrible values are just garbage. They're shot weird. They just I don't know what they are. Let me see if I can pull up the post. They banned it, but let me see if I can still find it. No, it's not up anymore. Dang it. Like the teen sitcoms, apparently they went away because kids are on TikTok. So you mean to tell me that a fully feature-length show with like jokes and things like that are just gone? With jokes and comedy. There's some kids on TikTok. If you go look at the Disney Channel schedule now, let me go pull up the Disney Channel schedule. Disney Channel. If you pull it up now, it's absolutely garbage. Let's look at these amazing shows that Disney Channel has put on for us. Now let's remember the greatness of shows I haven't seen, but have heard reviews of, and they look really, really good. Let's remember the greatness of these shows. Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Just think of some. Good Luck Charlie. I saw like one episode of that. Even Phineas and Ferb. Just think of your favorite 2000s-esque teen Disney sitcom, Corey in the House, whatever. Haven't seen any of these shows. I've seen the reviews of them, and they look a lot better than the junk that is coming out now. And this is the a show. Here's the Disney Channel schedule for Fridays and Saturdays. Also, remember DComs. DComs are like trash now. There's like one out, okay, and it's a whole bunch of teens kissing or whatever. So this is the schedule for Friday and Saturday. And let's think about this. Fridays and Saturdays would probably be the best days for the best shows to come on air for Disney Channel, which I don't even know how it's a channel anymore. If all the kids are on TikTok or something. Anyway, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Wizards of Waverly Place. Oh, so the show needs reruns, but I mean, there's nothing new. Kith, which is like some animated show, I think. But Kith is good at sports. Kith finds out she's good at sports, welcomes unwelcome intruders, overtake the tragedies backyard. Not a sitcom. It's just like some animated show. All right, here we go. Back to May 3rd. Big City Greens, which is some stupid animated. You had actual good TV shows, but no. We got to put this on for the kids are up at 1 a.m. I mean, it is Big City Greens from 12 to 3, or maybe even 4. Yeah, 4. Then back to Kith, which is... What? How did Disney go from like actual sitcoms to whatever the heck this is? Is that this would be like if Oh my gosh. Bluey, Mickey Mouse, Big City Greens again, Stugo. These shows are absolutely garbage. Like, just shut down as a channel. You shouldn't exist anymore. Or at least play the reruns of these shows that people actually like. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because no one's doing retrospectives, reviews of freaking Kith and Bluey and Big City Greens. They're doing retrospectives and reviews of DComs from circa the 1990 to 2013 esque. So yeah, before everyone started getting smartphones, and I guess stopped liking TV. I mean, Disney, if they were smart, could see this as an opportunity and be like, you know what? Now that phones don't have screens the size of 2 inches anymore, and now they have 6.8-inch screens, maybe, just maybe, I don't know about this, guys. I don't know. This could be hard. Maybe we could let them access Disney Channel on their phone and watch actually good shows on their phone that they actually like on their phone. It was just like, nah. On Disney cable channel, we're gonna have this. Like, just absolutely ridiculous. It's terrible for the culture. I mean, absolutely horrendous. Again, for the culture here. All right. Now, I'm going to get away from back to our stories I have queued up here because I have another story. Get back on the radio rant. Okay? Today's just a really ranty day. Let me see if I can find my bookmarks. I wish Chrome had a better bookmark manager, but it is what it is. You see if I type into this in from, some of my best research comes from when I go back in time and go search through 2001 because before the web took over. And you'll have articles that are actually interesting and exciting. Here it is. Building a computer-controlled radio transmitter. Now, this article, I believe, is from 2001. I think. I'm checking the date. It's not saying, but this website is still up. So, pretty good report here, in my opinion. Hopefully, you guys can see this on the screen. How would you like to send text messages to your friends without wires, without an internet connection, without paying monthly fees? Yes! See, there it is, right there. Right off the bat. Now, if this, today, you probably get, maybe if you can pair your phones or a whole bunch of low transmitters, you pair them via Bluetooth. If you have 10 of them going down the street, house to house, then you might maybe be able to send a little Bluetooth message to someone on your phone. Or to have some little open source project. No, I don't want no open source project here. I don't want to build this thing off with an Arduino, a paperclip, thoughts and prayers, and a little Linux distro. I want it to actually work. No. You want to text down the street? Oh, you're going to need the internet for that. Anyway, building a computer-controlled radio transmitter. In this product, we build a very simple radio transmitter. You attach the serial port on your computer, which once again shows how ports, the loss of ports have basically killed computers. Why don't we have modems on our laptops anymore, huh? I mean, you could probably fit one in here. All right, come on. I mean, that's the one thing that person with the 35 million stickers on the back of the Lenovo laptop when Kennedy was president has on it. He probably has a modem port on there. And probably a typewriter for a keyboard, but whatever. You need your serial port connector. You need some wire for an antenna and aggregator test led. And this is 2001, right? So, like I was saying, we don't want to have to build it ourselves. But maybe he was probably thinking back in 2002, it had those fake phones come out for the kids. He was probably thinking, maybe they'll be able to make this themselves or whatever. Some company might be able to pick this up and make it, right? So you build your little transmitter here, which I'm pretty sure you can probably figure out a better way to do this. You build your transmitter here, then you get a computer program that translates Morse code into thing in here. Don't even know what this for. You send your message, and you have your friend be able to send it as well. And notice how this computer program is a computer program. He didn't try to link you to some stupid web app with 50 million ads on it. You need to sign up for an account. And also, kind of defeats the entire purpose of the project. Seeing as if it's a web app, you need access to the internet, which at that point just DM them. mean, actually ridiculous. This is a website, code breaker website that can crack Caesar ciphers. But apparently, Caesar cipher code websites, you can't download it on Windows. The Enigma machine absolutely worked offline in 1945. But I mean, if you want to break codes in 2025, I mean, it's too hard work, too much hard work. It's just too much hard work. Can't wait to watch KIF tonight. That's what kids today. Yeah, no one in the history of Disney Channel or Nickelodeon has ever said that in the history of TV watching. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. It's just sad. It's so sad. And you know what's also sad? This. It's local news dead. So we did a segment on this again, but I posted in the journalism subreddit here. Right? Yeah, I was talking about here in Houston. We have a Fox affiliate. We have our CNN doesn't have an affiliate. Sorry. We have our Fox affiliate. We have our, I guess, what are they? ABC? Yeah, ABC affiliate. We have our, I don't know who KPRC is or KHOU is or whatever. I mean, like, local news is so dead. It's so dead. It's not even funny. Like, it's garbage. Like, we did a little bit of this on the website. It's so freaking boring. It's so boring. I like these people. All right, let me show the post to you. Okay, so there's this application called Citizen on all Android phones and all iOS phones. They can download them. You can see all the events that are happening. And so much exciting stuff. Exciting crimes happen around here, and you can pull them up on the map. And someone's house got broken into around here. And I looked it up on Citizen, but guess what? Did Fox 26 report on that? No. Did ABC 13 report on that? No. There was nothing on Google for it. Maybe I should have checked Bing. Seeing as the DOJ thinks that Bing is pretty good or something like that. And none of the outlets report on that. You want to go search a Google search for a local Houston news outlet? Fine. Have fun. Do you know what you're going to find? ABC 13, Fox 26, KPRC, Channel 2. And it's just the same thing. The same graphics. And the same boring stories. Nothing remotely interesting. The stories from the affiliates, quote, remotely interesting, no exposés, no really local features. There's not anything from fiction, interesting local news where some kid detective may investigate or some reporter may investigate something. I know we talked about this last week, but 22,000 people. Let's go through the things here. Houston Chronicle isn't the most local paper I've ever read. Houston Chronicle is just, it's boring. Okay, there's nothing in there. There's nothing interesting. I don't even know why they have offices. I don't even know why they have reporters. You can just get this stuff off the internet. The Texas Tribune, which is just more geared towards Texas. It doesn't even count towards local, so I don't know what you're talking about here. Let's go next. The high school journalism, I used to high schools that have websites, are better. But then again, we looked into what I think it was Carnegie and St. John School had for journalism. It was great, but didn't really go outside their school. Or if it went outside their school, talk about some random TikTok trend or something like that. Not journalism. Not really anything interesting. I did an entire investigation into this school over in Lyons County High School, I believe, back in Chicago. Now that is a school that actually has journalism there. Their website is actually useful. Their journalism website is actually good. Now, yes, they have 4,000 people, and yes, they stuck at electing student council presidents, big time. I did a whole video about that. And yes, they have a radio station. Yes, they have a TV station. So it's really good there. But they're so much more competent and so much better than half the news agencies and organizations here in Houston. And how is it bad? That bad? Let me see. Houston's a big city. It observes very robust news outlets. There's this website called The Landing that got $20 million in cash or investments or whatever. $20 million. And I had never heard of it. It never came up in Google search. $20 million. And they couldn't figure out SEO. If I had $20 million, the Tech Boy would literally be on the first page whenever you type in everything and anything on Google. You want to type in Samsung? The Tech Boy is going to be popping up. You want to type in Apple? The Tech Boy is going to be popping up. You want to type in Whole Foods? The Tech Boy is going to be popping up. You want to type in Alexa? The Tech Boy is going to be popping up. I had $20 million. I became the first page on Google in like 2 years when you type in on him. And guess what? It didn't really cost anything. It cost like $24 for the domain name, and that's it. Over the 2 years. How? Like this thing should be coming up in news. We know it's coming up in news. The actual news outlets that the other thing. And I went over to the website. They're like dying. They're gonna be down at like the end of the month, at the end of the summer maybe. And it's like horrible. It's horrible. And according to Jono Throwaway Editor, he says I should start my own hyperlocal site. One person who cares about the community is curious and can manage to get super biased on every issue. Maybe a suspect or a blog or a TikTok or Instagram page, which is just like someone could have done that. Or also, again, in this neighborhood, just like it'd be the most boring newspaper of all time that's ever newspaper in the history of newspapers. But like, someone could have figured this out. Someone with $20 million could have, put in like little reporters everywhere else, but no, it's just trash. Okay, whatever. Houston Public Radio, Houston 88.7. I looked them up. It's just a radio station. It's not a news website. And NPR is not good for breaking news. So, and again, once again, I'm trying to show that the news media is garbage. Okay, you can't hate the media. I don't hate them. They're just trash. Like, there's nothing here local that's interesting. And we go on to the next thing, which is just, where the heck do you find your stories? This is more for cable news, but also getting to the local news channels here. Where do you find your stories? Please, I want to know. Look, there are no stories here that are worth 24 hours of coverage. I'm sorry. This is like what are you people doing? And where do you even find them? Because you're not finding them here. Do you know why you're not finding them here? It's not because they don't want to come here. It's because there is nothing here unless I guess they downloaded the Citizen. But I mean that's it. So like I've been on here for 1 or 2 I went to Citizen. I'm not gonna do it because I probably doxed my location. But I went to Citizen and went over the reports that were on within the local 5 miles of me. Maybe like 10 reports would show up. If I say I had a news show, this is the Tech Boy reporting live from my location. Here are the 10 news stories for today. If we gave each of them 5 minutes of coverage, that is 50 minutes. So we still got a whole 23 hours and 10 minutes we still have to cover and finish there. So, yeah. And according to the responses, they found their stories from the print journalists, and then they go talk about it on TV, which is fine. But then again, where did those print journalists find the stories where there's enough for you to yap about for 24 hours? And also, again, where are the journalists? So, this is week 3 of our TikTok investigation. Week 3 of us, investigating the TikTok trends and everything like that. Haven't really found anything. But I'm not being funded $20 million. And for the same question, which is, where are these people that are doing these TikTok dances? Where are the journalists? I've never seen a journalist actually out doing something. Like, do they just live among us? Are they secretly writing things down? Maybe they're using the radio technology that no one else gets to access. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous here. I guess we're going to do a final touch on SSALTW. We're going to be cleaning up the website, posting some stuff out there. I follow Nika now, so I guess that means the war's over. This might be interesting. Let's rank each and every one of the. Maybe we can get into some SSALTW analysis in the next podcast episode. Let's rank each and every one of the SSALTW rivals in. Let's just rank them. Not rank them from 1 to like S tier, A tier, who's the best. But this is rank them each on their own merits. All right, first starting off, Jamie. Jamie is probably the worst rival of all rivals of all time. Because the problem with Jamie was that she created this problem. She created SSA by rivaling non-SSA. So by rivaling me, which cause problems for all these other people out there. So there's that. Also, she didn't really have a goal. She didn't really want to take over anything. She didn't really have a goal to like destroy SSA once SSA was created. She didn't really do much as a rival. She was just mean. So gonna go detail there. All right, now on to the next rival. 7th grade. Let's think about this. I forgot the name of the SSALTW series, but the thing is, like in terms of intelligence, I'm almost smarter than Jamie. I'm a lot smarter than Jamie. In terms of like goal, I don't really know what the goal was, but I mean, she was at least a decent spy. So B2 there. All right, now we have to get to the real rivals at Nika. All right, NIKKA. Now, what would I rank her? Because think about it. Nika has created the foundational policy of modern SSA going into the series today. Right? If you think about it, Jamie, she didn't really do much. She's just like the backdrop of, oh, well, this is how SSA got founded. Right? But Nika, she, in terms of being a rival, kind of founded the modern SSA. Think about it. Antitrust policy, teenage dating to threaten national security, all these policies that got drawn through, each and every one of them, even got brought up in the November 9th, 2022 debate or interview, press conference, whatever you want to call it. That still is the foreign policy that was built upon it because of what happened in 2019. Think about it. Something that happened in 2019 is influencing SSA citizens in 2022. Something that happened in 2019 is influencing SSA citizens in 2024. In fact, we used that same playbook back in 2024 to defeat 9th grade. So it even, caused SSA defense and SSA, the anti-trust defense system, to do this. And she actually had a goal. I actually believe that she had a goal, which was to destroy SSA, to become a lot more powerful and more popular, and or to prevent SSA from being able to get close to David and find out his secrets. So that's 2 working theories that SSA has right now. We'd still be looking into them. So I'm going to go with S tier right there. S tier because, it was an actual rivalry. It actually lasted a long time. Stalemated because COVID. And we also did stuff like launched rockets with the whole patriotic imagery, harkening back to the Cold War of when the United States rocket blew up on its launch pad. So, I actually think that, S tier, greatest rival, because, no other rival has ever created, except for Jamie, but SSA probably was going to become a thing anyway. So that has ever actually created something that would become SSA foreign policy 5-6 years later down the line. So congratulations to Nika there. Now let's go jump ahead to I forgot his name in the book from Energizer. Essentially getting SSA banned, but haven't worked undercover. Oh, Malachi. Yeah, that's his name. I gave him some biblical name. Getting SSA banned, neat touch, but like not really as rivalistic as Lily, which was the presidential candidate I ran against back in 2022. Only because, the whole debate thing, the whole, he's gonna like turn this into a Christian theocracy thing that happened. So I actually didn't really peddle that, but she's still a rival. I'm gonna go with C tier there because like she didn't really peddle the misinformation that was gonna turn the school into a Christian theocracy that was of the people. But I mean, she didn't really do anything to dissuade that. Now, back to Malachi. I mean, getting SSA banned, whatever. Like SSA still worked undercover. There wasn't really anything that we're going to investigate. Anything. It's not like we're going to make any money, nonetheless. But like he didn't really do much. C tier. All right, now on to Allison. Now, not really a rival. Only a rival for 1 week, but pretty competent if you think about that. Competent enough to win an election, which is pretty good. B tier. Also, pretty good because kind of as president, setting foreign policy for the school while SSA is out doing things, with the unbeatable attitude, right? Like you can't beat us, you can't take us down. Same thing that we transferred over from 2022, 2023, right? But that kind of spread over to GCam, and that kind of didn't end up well. But adds into Molly, which I'm a pretty good rival, honestly. Pretty good rival. Think about it. Smacking kids in the face with shoes, throwing food and sunglasses and hydro flask at people and getting away with it. Pretty good rival. Me too. Because think about it, SSA was able to do a whole bunch of stuff and get away with it. Clone voices, bug rooms, get away with that. Of course, we had reasons, but throwing hydro flask and water bottles and advocating for terrorism against Denver, pretty good. B tier. All right. And also going to give Valerie also B tier as well. Actually, she's pretty smart. Let's go to A tier, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So let's see if we have any questions in the chat. Nope, that's it. So hopefully we can make teen sitcoms great again. Hopefully we can make radio make a resurgence, and hopefully let's make Windows better than Linux, because Linux is trash and disgusting and horrible and depravity, and it's probably mentioned in Roman 8. So